आने वाले हैं उन सब का रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि आप अपना स्थान ग्रहण करेंगे। हमारी सिस्टर डॉक्टर बीके रश्मि ओझा जी, आप अपना ऊपर इस मंच पर स्थान ग्रहण करें। ब्रदर डॉक्टर आलोक मिश्रा जी, वाइस चांसलर मेवाड़ लॉ यूनिवर्सिटी चित्तौड़गढ़ से पधारे हैं। आपसे भी नम्र निवेदन करूंगा कि आप भी अपना मंच पर स्थान ग्रहण करें। ब्रदर भरत राय चंदनानी जो हमारे बॉम्बे से आए हैं, सीनियर एडवोकेट, आप भी मंच पर स्थान ग्रहण करें। सीनियर एडवोकेट ब्रदर भरत राय चंदनानी जी, आप भी मंच पर पधारें। ऑनरेबल मिस्टर जस्टिस वी.आर. षडंगी जी, जज उड़ीसा हाई कोर्ट, आपसे भी निवेदन है कि आप भी मंच पर अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें। राजयोगिनी बीके लक्ष्मीबेन जी, राजयोगा टीचर, जोरदार तालियों से स्वागत चलता रहे, क्योंकि भारत सरकार ने बहुत सारी बातों पे टैक्स लगाया है लेकिन अभी भी ताली पर कोई टैक्स नहीं है। तो इसलिए हमारे मेहमानों का स्वागत के लिए हम ताली तो बजा ही सकते हैं, इस पर कोई टैक्स भी नहीं है। राजयोगिनी बीके लक्ष्मीबेन जी से निवेदन करूंगा जो हाँसी से पधारी हैं, आप भी अपना स्थान करें। हमारे ऑनरेबल मिस्टर जस्टिस ए.एस. पाश्चापुरे जी, पाश्चापुरे साहब को भी अनुरोध करूंगा कि आप भी अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें। आज का दिन बहुत ही सुंदर दिन है, संडे है और भारत की जो पार्लियामेंट है उसका आज मैंने सुना उद्घाटन भी हो रहा है। तो इतना सुंदर दिन, इतना सुंदर अवसर, और इस सुंदर अवसर पर हम ईश्वर विश्वविद्यालय में हमारे जो बहुत ही, जिनको कहें कि लॉ के जानकार कहें, हमारे विधि को चलाने वाले कहें, ऐसे महान आत्माओं का यहाँ पर हम वेलकम कर रहे हैं। तो सबसे पहले जो भी कार्य हम करते हैं हमारे विश्वविद्यालय में विधि विधान के मुताबिक हम 2 मिनट उस परमात्मा पिता को याद करेंगे।
सब में हो सहयोग भावना, सब में हो सहयोग भावना, सबको सब दे प्यार, सब चाहे तो सबके लिए हो सुखमय ये संसार, सुखमय हो संसार।
सब में हो सहयोग भावना, सबको सब दे प्यार, सब चाहे तो सबके लिए हो सुखमय ये संसार, सुखमय हो संसार।
हम सभी ने बाबा को, परमात्मा को, शिव को आह्वान किया। अभी हम बहनों को आह्वान करते हैं कि बहनें आकर के हमारे मंच पर उपस्थित सभी मेहमानों को बैच के द्वारा सम्मान करें, सत्कार करें। मैं बहनों से निवेदन करता हूं कि हमारी बहनें आएँ, मंच पर सभी हमारे प्रबुद्ध मेहमानों का स्वागत करें। बहुत सुंदर, हमारे सभी मेहमानों का बैच के द्वारा बहनों ने बहुत सुंदर स्वागत किया। अभी हम इस कार्य को आगे बढ़ाते हुए हमारे इस प्रोग्राम के, इस सेशन के की नोट स्पीकर हमारी आदरणीय रश्मि बहन जी, रश्मि ओझा जी, आप हमारे इस जूरिस्ट विंग के नेशनल कोऑर्डिनेटर हैं और हमें गर्व है कि आपके अंदर वो ताकत है, वो स्पिरिचुअल ताकत है कि कई देशों में जाकर के आपने इसके बारे में ब्रह्मा कुमारीज की स्पिरिचुअलिटी और जुडिशरी दोनों कैसे बैलेंस करती है, और जुडिशरी के साथ में अगर स्पिरिचुअलिटी मिल जाए तो उसकी ताकत क्या होती है, ये मैंने सुना है। आपका अनुभव, आपके लेक्चर, और आप बॉम्बे यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर लॉ के प्रोफेसर रहे, बहुत ही सुंदर आपका वक्तव्य रहता है। मैं ज़्यादा शब्द नहीं लेकर के, ज़्यादा समय नहीं लेकर के, क्योंकि कल भी आपको सबने आपका परिचय सुना, तो अभी मैं आपसे निवेदन करता हूं कि आप आज का जो टॉपिक है, हार्नेसिंग इनर रिसोर्सेज फॉर बेटर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ जस्टिस, उसके ऊपर आप हमें गाइड करेंगे, बात करेंगे। ओम शांति। हाँ, मैं फिर से निवेदन करता हूं कि जिनको कोई प्रॉब्लम ना हो तो सभी आगे आ जाएं। फिर से हमारी दीदियों का निवेदन है, जो भी पीछे बैठे हैं तो आगे आने से बहुत अच्छा लगेगा, और आपका उसके लिए धन्यवाद है। सभी पधारें आगे।
Om Shanti. Most revered Supreme Godfather Shiv Baba, revered Honorable Justice Sarangi Sir, Justice Pashapure Sir, revered Dr. Alok Mishra Sir, Brother Bharat Bhai, I take proud and privilege to be saying that Bharat Bhai has been rendering a yeoman service so far as the litigations of the organizations are concerned, and he's been giving his service, so we are privileged to have him here. Sister Lakshmi Banji, Brother Nathmal Bhai, our national coordinator, the honorable judges from different courts, advocates, and sisters and brothers, a very good morning to one and all. इस सत्र का थीम है हार्नेसिंग इनर रिसोर्सेज फॉर बेटर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ जस्टिस. सो व्हाट आर द इनर रिसोर्सेज? कैन वी ट्रीट वैल्यूज़ एज इनर रिसोर्सेज? और जब वैल्यूज़ की बात होती है तो मैं कई बार इंट्रोस्पेक्ट करके आई कैन कैटेगराइज वैल्यूज़ इनटू 4 टाइप्स ऑफ वैल्यूज़. इट्स ईदर सोशल वैल्यूज़, moral values, spiritual values or behavioral values. Do we have to imbibe these values within us for better administration of justice? Do we need to multiply these values day in and day out for better administration of justice? और ये values हम किसको कहेंगे? इसके लिए मैं आपके समक्ष 2 उदाहरण रखना चाहूँगी and it's a true incident. तो ये सत्य घटना हो चुकी है. द फर्स्ट इंसिडेंट विच आई जस्ट हैपन टू read in one of the literature and it came to my knowledge just 2 days back. A 94-year-old person जो अपने किराए के मकान में रहते थे, he was not able to pay his rent. और लैंडलॉर्ड आके बार बार उनको परेशान कर रहे थे कि यू वेकेट द प्रीमाइसेस. ही कुडंट पे रेंट. ही केप्ट बेगिंग ऑफ द लैंडलॉर्ड दैट गिव मी सम टाइम एंड आई विल श्योरली पे द रेंट और द एरियाज ऑफ रेंट विच हैज़ एक्यूमुलेटेड. और एक बार तो ऐसी घटना हुई कि द लैंडलॉर्ड स्टार्टेड स्क्रीमिंग, यू वेकेट द प्रीमाइसेस राइट नाउ. In the same fashion, he kept pleading him, saying that give me few more days time and I will repay your rent. People started accumulating when they saw the clash between the landlord and this 94-year-old person. I'm sure most of us will be shocked that who was that 94-year-old person and what made him place in such a situation. He was none other than the former Prime Minister of India who enjoyed 2 consecutive terms as the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Gulzari Lal Nanda, though it was a very short tenure of 8 days. But the situation was such, the जो ऑनेस्टी और इंटीग्रिटी के साथ वो प्राइम मिनिस्टर रहे कि उनके आखिरी दिनों में एट द फैग एंड ऑफ हिज लाइफ at the age of 94 he did not have even monies to pay for his rent. और फिर दया खा के उनकी बेटी आई, उनको अपने साथ उनके ले गई और उन्होंने प्रॉमिस किया कि वो हफ्ते हफ्ते से वो अपना किराया थोड़ा थोड़ा इंस्टॉलमेंट में दे देंगे. An apt example of values. In such a high position, a person having held such a high position in life did not accumulate wealth, but he accumulated morality, he accumulated values in his life. और एक उदाहरण देना चाहूँगी and that was in a missionary meeting at Scotland, जहाँ पर donations इकट्ठा किया जाता था to distribute it to the people who are needy. So there was an appeal made that whosoever desires to give donations may please put the donations in a huge basket which will be moved across. और किसी एक इंसान से कहा कि आप पर्सन टू पर्सन 1-to-1 बास्केट ले जाइए और जिनको जो डोनेशंस देने होंगे वो उसमें डाल देंगे. तो बास्केट घुमाते घुमाते वो इंसान, एक छोटा सा बच्चा था, 10-year-old बॉय बाय नेम अलेक्जेंडर डफ. तो वो हाथ जोड़ के खड़ा था. तो जब वो इंसान ने सोचा कि ये 10 साल का बच्चा क्या डोनेशन देगा, तो उन्होंने उसकी तरफ देखा. द बॉय आस्क्ड, सर प्लीज़ कैन यू लोअर डाउन योर बास्केट. तो उन्होंने सोचा चलो उनको खुश कर देते हैं और उन्होंने अपना बास्केट नीचे रख दिया. ये 10 साल का बच्चा अपने दोनों हाथ जोड़े बास्केट के अंदर बैठ गया और उन्होंने कहा कि सर आई डोंट हैव एनीथिंग टू डोनेट बट आई डोनेट माई सेल्फ फॉर द नोबल कॉज ऑफ ह्यूमैनिटी. इमेजिन द वैल्यूज़ which a 10-year-old boy possesses. So when we speak of harnessing inner resources, I think this is almost synonymous with harnessing values, imbibing values in our day-to-day life. Do we do that? And do we really practice that? In a day, at least imbibe one positive attitude, some value picking up from a human being or from any other source as such. I remember a Chinese jurist by name Sun Tzu had said that man is a social animal. By his very nature, he is wicked and he needs teaching and discipline in order to be transformed and reformed. The ancient rulers understood the viciousness of man and therefore created morals, laws, and institutions so that human beings can be transformed or reformed. In the administration of justice that we are discussing today, what is that administration of justice? It's the maintenance, that's what we studied as law students, maintenance of one's right within the political community by means of physical force of state. We have innumerable laws in our country. Many a times laws are defective, there are loopholes, there are lacunae. And therefore the principles of justice, equity and good conscience were introduced to cover up the gaps. But the system is yet not free from defects. The central idea behind introduction of principles of natural justice is that justice must not only be done but seem to have been done. Yet the system is not free from defects because clarity, certainty and stability are the virtues conspicuously missing in administration of justice. Since yesterday we have been hearing distinguished and eminent speakers, the procedural delays in the court, cost of litigation, the different processes in different courts are the other factors which hinders smooth administration of justice. Since a year we all have been celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav in India. 75 years of Indian independence. It's been more than 7 decades since the Constitution of India was put in its place. More than 7 decades since the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, 1948, was adopted by the UN General Assembly. But where do we stand today? I mean, taking example of today itself, 28th of May, 2023. How peaceful, dignified and humane life do we live? Can we judge the quality of nation civilization? हम देखते हैं बाहर इस परिसर the campus where we are put up right now. If you just step out of the campus, you will get the glaring realities of what transpires outside. The crimes committed day in and day out. There are communal conflicts, there are religious rivalries, there are attacks on minorities, there are natural disasters taking place, there are man-made disasters taking place. Terrorism and trafficking, which are international offenses, and it has transgressed its limit beyond territorial limits as such, and therefore they are treated as cross-border terrorism and cross-border trafficking as such. And rights violations by none other than the ones who are supposed to be law protectors as such. आप सभी को पता होगा कि India is not just bound by the laws of our own country, but we are also bound by certain obligations which India has ratified so far as the international human rights instruments are concerned. And what does the preamble of the UDHR state? That whereas recognition of inherent dignity, of equal and inalienable rights for all members of the human family is the foundation of justice, freedom and peace in the earth. The very first article begins with the words, all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reasons and conscience and therefore should act towards one another in the spirit of brotherhood. Do we do that? I'm sure there are inequalities existing all across and we see it. the marginalized or the vulnerable groups continue to be vulnerable since ages. So can we truly boast of आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव? Can we say भारत के संविधान को 70 साल के ऊपर हो गए and therefore all the rights are equally enjoyed by people? I think more often than yes, the answer would be no. हमारे देश में ऐसा नहीं है कि हमने कोई तरक्की नहीं की है, हमने ज़रूर तरक्की की है, because it was in the quarter end of the 19th century. हमारे जो पेट्रन, वेरी फर्स्ट जूरिस्ट विंग के पेट्रन मेंबर रहे लेट जस्टिस VR कृष्णा अय्यर सर. कल मैंने एक उदाहरण दिया था, द डार्केस्ट चैप्टर इन इंडियन डेमोक्रेसी, जो इमरजेंसी केस का, जस्टिस PN भगवती, जस्टिस DA देसाई, वो जजेस थे जिन्होंने एंटरटेन की पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट लिटिगेशन, जिन्होंने द स्ट्रिक्ट रूल ऑफ लोकस स्टैंडाई एक्सपांड किया, और उन्होंने अपने कई सारे जजमेंट्स में कहा कि दिस इज़ अ फ्लावर फुल्ली ब्लॉसम्ड विथ फ्रेग्रेंस स्मेल. मुझे आज भी याद है जब मैंने वह विंग ज्वाइन की थी, जस्टिस VR कृष्णा अय्यर को काफ़ी बार सुना था, और वह कहते थे हम किस जस्टिस की बात करते हैं, हम किस संविधान की बात करते हैं, हम किस इंटरनेशनल कानून की बात करते हैं, जब इनइक्वालिटीज़ हम में इतनी इनबिल्ट है कि हम जो इक्वालिटी की बात करते हैं वो हो ही नहीं पाती. आप सारे जूरिस्ट हैं, आप कई लोगों ने जस्टिस VR कृष्णा अय्यर के जजमेंट्स पढ़े होंगे, और उसमें ह्यूमैनिटी और स्पिरिचुअल वैल्यूज़ के कंपोनेंट कूट कूट के भरे हैं. कई सारे ऐसे सीरीज़ ऑफ जजमेंट्स है, आज टाइम नहीं है उसकी वजह से मैं आपको बता नहीं सकती हूँ, लेकिन दे आर द वंस हु रेज दिस स्ट्रिक्ट रूल ऑफ लोकस स्टैंडाई और पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट लिटिगेशन. हमने कहाँ से प्रेरणा ली? US में क्लॉरेंस अर्ल गिडियन नाम का एक इंसान था जिसको लाइफ कन्विक्शन मिली थी, और जेल काटते हुए उसको सडनली एक बार ख्याल आया कि शायद मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिली है, और उसने जेल में पड़े हुए कॉर्नर में एक जो कागज़ का टुकड़ा था, वो क्रम्पल्ड, एकदम क्रम्पल्ड टुकड़ा था, वो उसने लिया और पेन बोरो करके उसने उसमें छोटे से कागज़ के पीस में लिखा कि टू द चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ द US सुप्रीम कोर्ट, और उन्होंने लिखा कि द स्टेट ऑफ फ्लोरिडा हैज़ डन हिम अ रॉन्ग बाय नॉट having heard him, not giving him an opportunity. और उसने वो फोल्ड करके कांस्टेबल से कहा कि आप प्लीज़ देखना कि ये चिट्ठी चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ द US सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक पहुँचे. और वो चिट्ठी पहुँच गई जज के सामने. जैसे ही वो जज ने वो छोटी सी चिट्ठी खोल के देखी, ही वॉज शॉक्ड. तब के जज जस्टिस चीफ जस्टिस अर्ल वॉरेन थे US सुप्रीम कोर्ट के. बहुत ही ह्यूमैनिटेरियन, बहुत ही कॉम्पैशनेट जज थे. उन्होंने जब खोल के देखा तो उन्होंने सोचा कि दिस इज़ वेरी बैड. वो छोटी सी चिट्ठी उन्होंने रिट पिटिशन में कन्वर्ट कर दी, पूरी बेंच बिठाई, और सारे के सारे जजेस ने कहा कि यस, दिस इज़ समथिंग अगेंस्ट द US कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. हमारे भारत देश में भी ये प्रेरणा ली, और अभी आप सबको पता है कि अ न्यूज़ रिपोर्ट, एन इनलैंड लेटर और अ पोस्ट कार्ड कैन ऑल्सो बी ट्रीटेड इनटू अ पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट लिटिगेशन एज सच. वैसे ही जस्टिस VR कृष्णा अय्यर जी ने कई सारे, और PN भगवती जी ने ऐसे जजमेंट है, और उसमें से एक उदाहरण मैं आपके समक्ष रखना चाहूँगी. द केस ऑफ फ्रांसिस कोरेली मुलिन वर्सेस द यूनियन टेरिटरी दिल्ली. उसमें एक ब्रिटिश नेशनल जो बाहर के देश से यहाँ पकड़ी गई थी अंडर कोफेपोसा, दैट्स द कंजर्वेशन ऑफ फॉरेन एक्सचेंज एंड प्रिवेंशन ऑफ स्मगलिंग एक्टिविटीज़ एक्ट, और उसको जेल में रखा गया. उसकी एक 5 साल की छोटी बेटी थी, उससे मिलने की भी परमिशन नहीं दी गई। उसने बहुत ही प्लीड किया कि मुझे मेरी 5 साल की छोटी बेटी को मिलने दिया जाए, और जब उन्होंने एप्लीकेशन की तो कोर्ट ने परमिशन दी और कहा कि ठीक है, आप आपकी लॉयर और बेटी को तब मिल सकोगे जब एन ऑफिसर फ्रॉम द कस्टम ऑफिस हु विल बी डेप्यूटेड एंड इन हिज प्रेजेंस, उसके सामने ही आप आपकी बेटी को मिल पाओगे। और जब भी मीटिंग्स फिक्स होती थी, द ऑफिसर डेप्यूटेड बाय द कस्टम ऑफिस कभी भी प्रेजेंट नहीं रहते थे, तो मीटिंग नहीं हो पाती थी। जब कोर्ट को यह पता चला कि, तो कोर्ट ने कहा दिस इज़ अ ग्रेव इनजस्टिस। हम बहुत बार फंडामेंटल राइट्स विद इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में हम बहुत ही प्राउडली कहते ऑल इक्वालिटी बिफोर लॉ, इक्वल प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ लॉ, वैसा ही सबसे पावरफुल एंड वाइटल फंडामेंटल राइट आर्टिकल 21, no person shall be deprived of his right to life and personal liberty except according to procedure established by law। तब के ज़माने के जजेस ने बहुत ही क्रिटिसिज्म किया, कहा कि आर्टिकल 21 का हम इतना प्राउडली एडवोकेट कर रहे हैं, एड्रेस कर रहे हैं, दैट विल बी नथिंग बट मियर अ नलिटी और अ रोप ऑफ सैंड। हम ऐसा अन्याय किसी के भी ऊपर नहीं कर सकते कि वो अपनी एक छोटी सी 5 साल की बच्ची को भी ना मिले। और अभी इतने सारे अप टू 2023 इतने सारे जजमेंट्स है जहाँ राइट टू प्राइवेसी, सिक्योरिटी, पब्लिकेशन, प्रोटेक्शन, सब कुछ राइट्स जो अभी कोर्ट ने एनहांस किया है कि दिए जाते हैं। आई थिंक दिस इज़ व्हेन वी स्पीक ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी या व्हेन वी स्पीक ऑफ स्पिरिचुअल वैल्यूज़ और स्पिरिचुअल मोरालिटी एज सच, ये बात हमारे ध्यान में आती है कि दिस इज़ व्हाट इज़ हार्नेसिंग इनर रिसोर्सेज विद इन अस एज सच। और जब बात करें तो येस्टरडे ऑल्सो आई सेड, बट हमारे अभी आपने पुष्पा दीदी जी को सुना कि द prejudices and complexes which are transmitted through the social environment, it hinders democracy, secularism and promotion of equality। आप सभी को पता है कि मिलेनियम डेवलपमेंट गोल्स का टाइम जा चुका है और अभी 2030 तक सारे विश्व को सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स 17 पैरामीटर्स अचीव करना है। कभी भी गूगल पे जाके आप देखेंगे कि वो 17 सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स में हमारा जो स्पिरिचुअल वैल्यूज़, इरेडिकेट पॉवर्टी, ब्रिंग इक्वालिटी, इरेडिकेट हंगर, ये सारी चीज़ें शामिल है। सो आई थिंक द जूरिस्ट कैन प्ले अ वेरी ग्रेट रोल बाय इम्बाइबिंग दीज वैल्यूज़। हमारे समक्ष कुछ स्पीकर्स और भी है और समय की पाबंदी के कारण मैं अपना विचार थोड़ा कंडेंस कर रही हूँ। मैं आपके एट द एंड आपके सामने 2 उदाहरण रखना चाहूँगी और वो काफ़ी महत्व के उदाहरण है और ये दोनों उदाहरण भी सत्य घटना है। तो वो एक ये है कि क्वालिटी एक रिसोर्स क्या हो सकता है। अभी अभी दीदी जी ने बताया कि एनी शांति, मन की शांति, एंड हाउ कैन यू शो और एक्सप्रेस इट, दैट इज़ बाय सॉफ्ट स्पोकननेस। तो चाइनीज़ के एक बहुत ही विख्यात फिलोसोफर थे कन्फ्यूशियस, बहुत ही विद्वान थे, फिलोसोफर थे। वो बहुत ही एजेड हो चुके थे और अपनी आखिरी सांस से गिन रहे थे। उनको पता था कि अभी वो कुछ ही समय में जाने वाले हैं। बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स को उन्होंने ट्रेन कर रखा था। तो सभी उनके बेड, वो सोए हुए थे, लेटे हुए थे और उनके बेड के आजू बाजू में उनके सारे डिसाइपल्स खड़े थे। वो लास्ट में कुछ ठीक से बोल नहीं पा रहे थे, तो उन्होंने फिर भी इशारे से एक इंसान से कहा कि आप ज़रा नज़दीक आओ, मुझे कुछ कहना है। वो भाई गए उनके नज़दीक, उन्होंने नीचे झुक के उनकी मुंह जहाँ से वो बोलना चाह रहे थे अपने कान लगाए। उन्होंने कहा कि मैं अपना मुंह अभी खोल रहा हूँ, आप मेरे मुंह के अंदर झांकिए और आप कहिए कि मेरे मुंह के अंदर क्या है। तो उन्होंने, बूढ़े से थे, अपना मुंह खोला तो उस डिसाइपल ने उसके मुंह के अंदर झांका और उन्होंने कहा कि आपके अंदर, मुंह के अंदर मुझे कुछ दिखाई नहीं देता है, आई कैन सी ओनली अ टंग इन योर माउथ। तो उन्होंने कहा कि आप अभी ऐसा कीजिए, यू गो टू द मिरर और अपने आप को मिरर के सामने खड़ा रख के अपना मुंह खोल के देखिए कि आपके मुंह में क्या है और मुझे आके बताइए। तो वो गए वहाँ और उन्होंने मिरर में देखा और आके उन्होंने कहा कि मेरे पास दांत भी है और जीभ भी है, दैट इज टंग ऑल्सो। तो ये कन्फ्यूशियस ने कहा कि इतनी सारी टीचिंग्स में ये मेरी लास्ट टीचिंग मैं आप सबको दे रहा हूँ, आप विचार कीजिए। धीरे धीरे जो वो अपने लास्ट सांसों में बोल रहे थे, ये मेरी लास्ट लेसन है कि आप सोचिए कि जब एक छोटा सा बच्चा जन्म लेता है तो उसको दांत नहीं होते हैं, सिर्फ जीभ होती है, एंड दैट इज़ द सॉफ्टेस्ट पार्ट ऑफ द बॉडी। और धीरे धीरे जैसे वो बड़ा होता है, धीरे धीरे दांत आते हैं, फिर जैसे ही वो यूथ होता है और बाद में ओल्ड एज होती है तो एक एक करके सारे दांत टूट जाते हैं और लास्ट में जो रह जाता है वो सिर्फ उसकी जीभ या द टंग रिमेन्स एट द लास्ट. So he said that is the lesson which I wish to teach you, that anything that is soft lasts forever. The thing which is hard gets shed off. हमारा ईगो है, हमारे प्रेजुडिसेस है, हमारे विचार है, हमारी जो दूसरों के लिए बुरी भावना है, all this brings you, it declines the quality which you possess. But anything which is soft and pleasing, आप सोचिए कि that lasts forever, and that's the last lesson of my life. और दूसरी एक सत्य घटना, पंडित लाल बहादुर शास्त्री जी जब वो प्राइम मिनिस्टर थे तो उनका अकाउंट पंजाब नेशनल बैंक में था और उन्होंने विचार किया कि मुझे एक फियाट कार खरीदनी है। तो उन्होंने बैंक में जाके देखा, फियाट कार की कीमत 12,000 थी तब और अकाउंट में उनके 7,000 ही थे सिर्फ। तो उन्होंने सोचा अब क्या किया जाए, तो उन्होंने बैंक में लोन के लिए एप्लीकेशन की। आप सोचिए वो पहले रेलवे मिनिस्टर रह चुके थे, प्राइम मिनिस्टर, एंड उन्होंने लोन के लिए अप्लाई किया 5,000, वो 5,000 लोन दी भी गई, 12,000 की फियाट कार उन्होंने खरीदी, लेकिन बाद में उनका देहांत हो गया। तो वो अपनी वाइफ को इतना कहकर गए कि देखना कि बैंक का एक भी पैसा बाकी न रह जाए। तो वो जो उनके देहांत के बाद भी वो वैल्यूज़ जो अपनी वाइफ को वो देकर गए, वो उन्होंने वह ध्यान से याद रखा और बैंक की एक एक पाई लोन की 5,000 की विथ इंटरेस्ट उन्होंने बैंक में चुकता कर दी। इट्स अ टाइप ऑफ वैल्यू I think, and that is what plays a very, very great role in life. Thomas Paine ने कहा कि when we try to, treat each other as human beings, in the rights of man, जो थॉमस पेन ने लिखी है, उन्होंने कहा कि let us not confine to the territorial borders. Let us consider that the whole world is my country, all mankind are my brothers, and to do good is my religion. और भारत के सर्वप्रथम प्राइम मिनिस्टर पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू ने अपनी स्पीच में भी कहा था कि द सर्विस टू इंडिया अगर हम देना चाहते विल बी द सर्विस टू द मिलियंस ऑफ पीपल हु सफर, दैट कैन बी डन बाय इरेडिकेशन ऑफ पॉवर्टी, ignorance, disease and inequality of opportunity. The ambition of the greatest men of our times, the Mahatma Gandhi, the apostle of peace, is to wipe every tear from every eye. क्या हम हर एक के आँख में से आंसू पोंछ सकते? आपके मन में, हमारे मन में शायद ही यह प्रश्न उठे कि ये थोड़ी संभव पॉसिबल है कि हम हर एक के हर एक को हम खुश रख सके और हर एक को देखे कि वह दुखी न। लेकिन उन्होंने तब कहा था कि द एम्बिशन ऑफ द ग्रेटेस्ट मैन ऑफ आवर टाइम, The apostle of peace is to wipe every tear from every eye. But remember, as long as the tear and sufferings continue, because we say it's impossible. He said, remember, as long as the tears and suffering continue, the work will not be over. So I think that's the greatest lesson in itself, कि हमें यह नहीं खुश होना है कि बस हम तक ही सीमित, हमारे क्वालिफिकेशन, स्टेटस, सब कुछ हमें मिल गया है, बट कई सारे ऐसे दुखी लोग हैं जिनकी तरफ हमारे एज जूरिस्ट, एज लॉयर्स, एज जजेस हमारी फर्ज है, कर्तव्य है कि वी रेंडर द कम्युनिटी बेस्ड सर्विसेज एज सच. इसके अलावा ऐसे कई सारे जजमेंट्स भी है जहाँ पर अभी स्पिरिचुअलिटी कंपोनेंट, वैल्यूज़ पर भी बहुत जजमेंट्स में इनकॉर्पोरेट किया जाता है, मोरालिटी पे. और जब हम स्टूडेंट्स थे तब भी अ नेक्सस बिटवीन मोरालिटी एंड लॉ, नेक्सस बिटवीन सोशल वैल्यूज़ एंड लॉ हमें पढ़ाया जाता था. सो आई थिंक दैट्स अ वेरी ग्रेट लेसन इन इटसेल्फ. लेट अस ड्रीम India. Let us dream about India of a place, which will be where a person lives with equality, liberty, justice, equality, fraternity, which is imbibed within the preamble of our Constitution. Thank you and Om Shanti.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमारी बहन रश्मि ओझा जी को. बहुत सुंदर एग्जाम्पल देकर के आपने बहुत अच्छा वक्तव्य पेश किया. मैं उसको रिपीट नहीं कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि अभी हमारे पास बहुत अच्छे वक्ता हैं. भ्राता भरत राय चंदानी जी जो खास मुंबई से पधारे हैं और थोड़े समय पहले ही आपका आना हुआ और फिर भी आपको जल्दी ही जाना है, इसलिए मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ. हमारे भरत रायचंद्र जी खास मुंबई से और बॉम्बे हाई कोर्ट, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया और दूसरे हाई कोर्ट में भी काफ़ी आपकी अच्छी करीब 20 वर्षों से आप प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं. आप लॉ में गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट हैं. आपने जीएसटी सर्विस के बारे में काफ़ी पेपर प्रेजेंट किए हैं और भी आपने 1500 से ज़्यादा केस के ऊपर में आपने अपनी लीडिंग ली है. तो ऐसे बहुत ही सुंदर वक्ता हैं जिनका मैं ज़्यादा वर्णन नहीं करना चाहता. तो मैं आपसे निवेदन करता हूं कि आप आएँ और अपने विचार रखें. दाता भरत चंदानी जी.
Om Shanti. Very good afternoon to everybody and the dignitaries on the dais. And I would like to first thank everybody for inviting me, because generally lawyers and spirituality don't mix. We are the last persons to be speaking on this subject. Okay. And I'm not as good as a speaker as Didi is. Okay. One of my juniors was telling me, that sir, आप कोर्ट में इतना अच्छा आर्ग्यू करते हो, and you are invited, I have been invited by various industry associations, various industry bodies for lectures, for seminars. There you don't speak well, but you argue very well in the court. So I told him, there I am getting paid. So inviting such a person for speaking on this is itself an honor. Okay. And I will not take much of your time. Only two things that I would like to add or say is this. One, yes, there are problems. Yes, there are issues in every system. No system is perfect. And I believe we should not even aim for perfection. Is any software perfect? Answer is no. Is any technology perfect? Answer is no. Therefore, we are always overcritical of our judicial system. Always, all of us are. Is it okay if I speak in English? या हिंदी में बात करूं sir? It's okay? Sure? I'm comfortable in English, Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, Sindhi, Punjabi, French. I can speak all languages. Sorry, sir? As you wish, okay. हिंदी की जो पीछे बैठे हैं उनसे पहले आप आगे आ जाइए, आपसे सवाल पहले करने हैं. जी 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 ज्ञान की बात करते हैं सर. We are always overcritical of our judicial system. All of us are. It is marred by delays. It is slow paced. There is no delivery of justice. Justice delayed is justice denied. And so many other things. While I do not dispute it, while I do not deny it, I only want to put another perspective to it. Does anybody know here how many matters one judge deals with in one day? How many matters he has to deal with? Let me all put across the pressure that our judiciary has today in our country is one of the highest in the world. And they work under such tremendous pressure. Despite that, they are delivering judgments day after day. 1. 2. The number of the judges that we had in 1947 are the same that we have today. Whereas our population has multiplied manyfold. Okay. We always hear, all of us, we always hear government is saying we will make roads because road की कमी है. We will make a bridge, bridge की कमी है. हम ट्रेन चलाएंगे, वंदे भारत यहाँ से वहाँ से सब जगह से चलाएंगे. No problem, it's good. Why? Because I have to meet the demand. The supply has to meet the demand. Nobody has ever spoken that we will increase the number of judges. Ever. None. If you have heard it, please tell me. I have never heard that saying, anybody saying that we will increase the number of judges. Forget increasing. We are not able to fill the number of vacancies that we have, which according to me is one of the root cause of the delay in the judicial system. Okay. It is not the judges, please. Absolutely no. I will not accept that answer. It is not the judges. It is the vacancies, it is the pressure, it is the number of increasing cases, number of mounting cases which the judges have to deal with. With this, yes, I agree with Didi, what Didi said, that justice should be delivered, PILs are there, public interest litigation is there. I will only like to add another perspective to it. Okay. Because we are saying we have to harness our inner self, harness our spirituality. We should also ask ourselves this question. Where is this word justice written? Can anybody answer this question? In any act, in any statute, in the Constitution of India, how do you find the word justice? Preamble of the Constitution. Okay. Is there any in the statute? Our courts, our judges are protectors of the statute. They are governed by the law just like you and I are. Okay. Majority of the complaint before the court is this and this alone. That, sir, the lawmaker is the lawbreaker. Please punish them. Please put them in action. The lawmaker is the lawbreaker. Okay. Therefore, please let us understand that our judges, our jurists, our lawyers also, as we also, because we are a part of the same judicial system. I say the bar and the bench. Okay. I always joke with my wife also. My wife is also a lawyer. I always say the relationship between the bar and the bench is like husband and wife. Tum bin na bane, tum sang na bane. Okay. It's like that. Therefore, we are also equally responsible and equally contributing to the judiciary. Okay. When I say this, okay, I am not defending anybody. Please understand. I am not arguing anybody's case or arguing anybody's matter. Okay. As Didi was saying, I recently argued one matter for the organization where we succeeded in that matter. That's what I told. I was telling Bhaiji. Bhaiji told me that what made you take up our case? Because 10 chartered accountants had said you are not going to succeed. 4 lawyers had told them that you are not going to succeed. Then what made you take up our matter? So, and many people told them that this is not a big amount for an organization or institution of this size. Okay. I said, when I look at the matter, I don't see who the client is, who is the assessee, who is the appellant, who is the litigant. I do not see what amount is involved in the matter or quantum is involved in the matter. I only look at the issue. And if I believe that this is something which has to be set right, then only I argue that matter. This, according to me, should be the principle, one of the most important principles or values that every jurist, everybody associated with the business of law, I would not say that with justice, with the business of law should imbibe. Ensuring that you ensure that it should read its logical conclusion. And all of us, all jurists, whether we are judges, we are members of the bar, okay, we are all equal contributors to this. Okay. Therefore, according to me, the most important value, as I see it, I'm very young and very naive to understand these things. As a young lawyer, this is what I feel is the most important value that you can have as a contributor to the judicial system or as a contributor to the judiciary is, what can I contribute? It is not about how much. It is not about how much. And how can I contribute? Okay. With these words, I will not take much of your time because I know we are running short of time and their lordships are also here. Okay. And I will not be like the postman. You know the postman story, no sir? In a small village in Rajasthan, there was a postmaster. Okay. He's supposed to open office at 10 o'clock. He opens the office at 12 o'clock. People are waiting outside in the queue. Bahar dhoop mein log jal rahe hain, khade hain. This man walks on his bicycle, comes on his bicycle, opens the window at 12 o'clock, does some work till 12:20 and then closes it. People are furious. They went there to beat him. Mr. Abhi 12 baje aaye aur 12:20 ko chal diye. So he says, I have broken the law once by opening late. I will not break the law again by closing late. So I will not do that. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद हमारे भरत भाई जी को। बहुत ही खुशी एंजॉय करते हुए आपने बहुत सभा को संबोधित किया। अभी हम बहनों से निवेदन करेंगे कि आपका और हमारे आलोक मिश्रा जी का दोनों का आश्रम की तरफ से सम्मान किया जाए। हमारे आज के चीफ गेस्ट सड़ंगी साहब दोनों का सम्मान करेंगे। बहनें लेके आएंगे अंगवस्त्र और उनका, क्योंकि भरत जी को भी जाना है तो इसलिए हमारे सरंगी साहब उनका सम्मान करेंगे अंगवस्त्र और प्रसाद दे करके। बहुत सुंदर। भरत भाई हमारे से छुट्टी ले रहे हैं, फिर मिलेंगे। जल्दी आपको दोबारा आना है। थैंक यू। अभी मैं निवेदन करूंगा डॉक्टर आलोक मिश्रा जी, वाइस चांसलर मेवाड़ लॉ यूनिवर्सिटी चित्तौड़गढ़ से आप पधारे हैं और आपका अनुभव तो बहुत ही सुंदर है। हम कुछ सुबह शेयर कर रहे थे बहुत ही निर्भीक रूप से, क्योंकि आजकल यूनिवर्सिटीज में क्या क्या होता है आप सब जानते हैं, कहाँ क्या चलता है, लेकिन आपका एक विशाल हृदय कहें और एक निर्भीकता कहें, बहुत ही सुंदर रूप से आप चला रहे हैं और करीब 24 कंट्रीज़ के लोग आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी के माध्यम से ये शिक्षा ले रहे हैं। तो मैं ऐसे प्रतिभावान हमारे भ्राता डॉक्टर आलोक मिश्रा जी को निवेदन करूंगा कि आप अपने विचार संक्षेप में रखेंगे। ओम शांति।
Om Shanti. Respected Professor Rashmi Oja, Justice B.R. Sarangi, Raj Yogini B.K. Lakshmi ji, Justice A.S. Pachpure, Brother Bharat Rai Chandani and Brother B.K. Natmal ji, dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. I am delighted to be with the international headquarters of Prajapati Brahma Kumari Ishwariya Vishwavidyalaya. I have brought goodwill message of our Honorable Chairman of Mewar University and regards from the side of faculty members and students, staff as well as people of Mewar. Some views, some reflections with regard to harnessing spirituality. Spirituality is something which is a journey, and human beings can actualize it, can feel it. It takes time, but the spark is there already since birth. It requires a bit of ignition, and if not ignited, it ignites itself. And the efforts of this spiritual university, we believe, will go a long way from here onwards, more effectively, because now the requirements of the nation are different. In different multitudes, and the Bharat of this century, and especially from 2023 onwards. One thing which I found common and very interesting during deliberations, especially last evening, from knowledge to wisdom, and then it got extended to from knowledge to conscience via wisdom. Mewar University also has its logo, and with a blooming lotus, it is knowledge to wisdom. We believe that students not only have knowledge, but also wisdom. And last evening, it was further added that conscience is the regulator of the conduct. And that was something wonderful. इसी संदर्भ में जुडिशियल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की बात है. Medical administration, judicial administration, medical clinic, legal aid clinic, millions of Indians, public interest litigation, the fountain in which you took bath just now during the lecture of Professor Rashmi Oja, the requirements are different. The pendency of cases is not the issue at all now. The times have changed. The reasons also Bharat gave, and there are researches on this. Now, if we utilize machinery, things will change. Such a huge pendency of cases. Many thanks to Justice Bindal, who had been the Chief Nodal Officer of digitization project in the country. We had an opportunity to interact in Chandigarh Judicial Academy. A very firm judge who believes in judicial discipline also, informed that the digitization project of the courts got delayed, or it is started about a decade later. The ABCD of law has changed now. We have transited from artificial intelligence to blockchains to cloud computing, now transiting into quantum computing, data analytics, big data, social media, another powerful instrument which has made every citizen of this country an eminent journalist. Because there had been problems with freedom of speech. Sometimes it got controlled by the government, and sometimes it got controlled by the joint and then the private sector. So there are issues. So now every citizen of India, the way it ensures the expression. So, giving you an example of Chandigarh High Court. Android system is the only system operating there through mobile. You upload your case, all the documents, your advocate will help, and within minutes a message comes that your case got registered, your petition got registered. So and so bench in court number so and so will hear. These will be the counsels of the state, and these will be the counsels from your side. Case comes up for hearing. Sustainable development sustained in dispensation of justice, fuel wastage, time wastage, presence wastage, wastage of the precious time of the court, like the message you get after withdrawal from ATM. In the same way, the digital order you can download what happened on that particular point of time, everybody getting informed. Now that kind of India and that kind of judiciary will bring transparency. I am not saying that it will be free of corruption, but definitely it will be minimized. That is what the way technology has intervened in the law field. The dispensation of cases during pandemic was very high on the parts of courts. The need is to percolate this down in the subordinate judiciary. The e-courts, the respect in our own conduct, because court is the last resort. When you make law, it comes into question when your conduct is full of error. Now, how to correct that error? The problem is not with judiciary. There is no problem of judicial activism as such in India, but the problem is of executive, legislative, and academic inactivism. So, the problem is of our conduct. And how to do that? With regard to that, new education policy feels that such lessons of spiritual awareness, which will give you that kind of strength to take cudgels with the corrupt judges and advocates, and to restore the discipline, restore the judicial discipline first in the court itself. And that's why Google says every evening that Chief Justice took so-and-so on the task today. 3-4 people coming. Because the discipline of the court number 1 of India, where he presides with 2 sister or brother judges, first of all, the conduct of the lawyers, the conduct of the wayward judges, is to be corrected. And it's the universities who produce students, and students are the end products of a university. They should be user-friendly, they should be court-friendly, they should be corporate-friendly. So values are to be given to them. And sometimes firmness, strength, and anger also works. Second in command can never be lenient, because then it will create problems for first in command. Generals can't be smiling, vice chancellors can't be smiling. And that is what has precisely happened with regard to universities in the country. That we ignore the things. We don't take cognizance. हम क्या कर सकते हैं? बच्चे ही ऐसे हैं, आज की generation ऐसी है. These are not the answers. As a VC, as a professor, you can't close your eyes if some student is doing something wrong. Same is the case with the Chief Justice of India. And every time the news comes, he took so and so on the task, expressing anger also. So, how to have that kind of controlled anger? Controlled command, self-controlled. There, in fact, spiritual lessons help you. From where that kind of courage will come, that you yourself face the crowd, because civil services won't come to run a university. A VC has to go on front. A judge has to go on front. You have to control your office. If you are firm, the judicial discipline of your office will be good. Corruption will be less. Then, any word after which ism comes becomes a philosophy. What happened on 26 January, we all know from our school age, but what exactly happened? Why that is so important? On 26 January, friends, the rule of individual on India ended. We decided in 1931, in Karachi session of Indian National Congress, by passing a resolution that when we will be free, there will be fundamental rights, not only for Indians, but also at least right to life to any human being in the waters, in the space, or on the territory of India. And protection of Indian law will be there. Maybe if a human alien comes, protection may go to him also of Article 32 or 226. So, we decided that we will be a democracy. In Faispur session of 1937, in the leadership of Pandit Nehru. There is rule of law. On 26 January, Constitution came, and rule of individual ended. The throne of the Emperor of India is vacant since then. There is no ruler of India. The Takhte Taus, the Singhasan Batisi, all the famous thrones, they are no longer there. If anyone asks you, please tell that President of India, Vice President of India, Prime Minister of India, Ministers of the Union, Chief Justice of India, and other brother judges, they are constitutional officers, provided with place to live, their security, their driver, their nameplate, their systems. They are the servers of the Constitution. Had there not been Article 52 in the Constitution of India, we would not have had a president. So, these are paid constitutional officers, and that's how a law student develops the courage to challenge Union of India, a fourth-year law student of National Law University, Delhi, and gets quashed certain sections of IT Act. That so-and-so versus Union of India. And what is the role of judiciary? They are the sentinels of the Constitution. Prahari. They are the sentinels, watchdogs of the Constitution. They are not a state. हाई कोर्ट के एक जज साहब ने कोशिश की थी अदर अथॉरिटीज टर्म को इंटरप्रेट करते हुए दैट जुडिशरी इज a state. Judiciary is not a state. There is a separate mechanism in the Constitution where independence, accountability stands defined and prescribed. But the issue real is of judicial standards. There was compromise of judicial standards, and that's why Supreme Court advocates on Record versus Union of India case, 1993, 9 judges bench decision, collegium system coming into existence. So, if you make judiciary a state or declare it like that, you can't do judicial review. You compromise in totality or independence. So, issue is of judicial standards, judicial accountability, and also judicial reach. And judiciary has to be firm. And I request Chief Justice to be more firm, more angry with the state of affairs which are there in the bars and in the courts. Then, incidentally, we belong to planet Earth. From the rising distance from Sun, MVEMJSUNP, Mars, Mercury being the nearest, then Venus, then Earth. And JSUNP, outer planets, all ice there. Lithosphere is of ice. So, this particular planet is a blessed planet. It's at such a distance from Sun that temperature, water, air are there for survival of life. Until now, there is no life reported from anywhere. And minimum knowledge of ours is with regard to space sciences. Now, the question is how to protect it. After life, the most important thing is justice. And that's why in chronological order in the preamble of the Constitution, justice comes first. So a just society will survive and an unjust society will not survive. And society is the artificial creation of human beings only, who were born in nature. But because of the law of jungle, they left nature and started thinking in terms of rule of law, gradually. So we decided that we will not be governed by descendants of Zafar or Lakshmi Bai, but we will be governed by the Constitution of India, and with that sanctity, on the throne of the Emperor of India, Constitution is there. Judges as sentinels, President taking the oath to preserve, protect and defend the Constitution, संविधान के संरक्षण, परिरक्षण और प्रतिरक्षण की शपथ लेते हैं और नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल में इम्पीच किए जा सकते हैं वायलेशन में. थैंक यू सो मच.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मिश्रा जी को. दिल तो कहता था आपकी बातें सुनते रहें, लेकिन फिर भी समय की ध्यान में रखते हुए अभी मैं कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए आज के मुख्य अतिथि के रूप से ऑनरेबल मिस्टर जस्टिस BR सरंगी जी, जो उड़ीसा हाई कोर्ट से आप हैं, आपसे निवेदन करूंगा कि आप हम सबके बीच में अपना वक्तव्य रखें. कल भी आपने सुना, आपका अनुभव बहुत सुंदर और बहुत अच्छा है और ईश्वर विश्वविद्यालय के बहुत नज़दीक हैं. काफ़ी वर्षों से आप पहले भी आपका आना हुआ और हमने ये भी देखा है कि जब भी आपको रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं, चाहे भी दिसंबर में हमने कटक में कॉन्फ्रेंस की थी, जूरिस्ट कॉन्फ्रेंस, आप कभी भी मैंने देखा है किसी को मना नहीं करते हैं, किसी को जिसको कहें कि हरास नहीं करते हैं। तो आपके अंदर बहुत ही कोऑपरेटिव और बहुत सॉफ्ट नेचर के आप हैं, हम सब अनुभव कर रहे हैं। तो ऐसे आपके बहुत ही सुंदर विचार हम सुनने के लिए इच्छुक हैं। निवेदन कर रहा हूँ षडंगी साहब को।
ओम शांति, ओम शांति, ओम शांति। My esteemed brother Honorable Justice A.K. Puchari and my elder brother Honorable Justice Bimal Prasad Das and Honorable Justice Ishwaraya on the of the dais. Dr. B.K. Rasmi Ojha, the National Coordinator, Jurist wing, Mumbai. Dr. Alak Mishra, Vice Chancellor, Mewar Law University, Chittorgarh. Brother Bharat Raichandani has already left. Rajyogini B.K. Lakshmi, Senior Rajyog teacher and member of the Jurist wing, Hansi. And my esteemed Mr. B.K. Nathmal, the National Coordinator of Jurist wing, Cuttack. And above all these advocates and all other persons so that of the dais from all parts of the country witnessing this program. Really, we are fag end of this session and time is running out very fast. You are hungry, you must be waiting for a lunch, but still then we have to do our job because for the purpose for which we are here, that we have to discharge. And that too, I must congratulate and welcome all of you from all parts of the country that are depending here, and with special reference to Odisha, because they all have come and all have enjoyed this function and all have got some experience from this divine world, and everybody was busy in the responsible assigned to them. But with this, during summer vacation, they all have come down to this place to have the blessings of the Shiva Baba. And definitely, you will have a cherished memory in your mind when you leave this place that you have learnt a great lesson in your life by educating yourself, by moving towards spirituality, and also to have a great contribution to the society at large when you move from this place to your own place. I congratulate all of you. Now, the question was harnessing the inner resources for better administration of justice. My esteemed speakers have spoke many things, but I have my own views about the things. Pendency of cases are no criteria nowadays because of the development technology, and with all vows I can say that the Odisha is #1 in the country who pioneered and take the leadership with regard to technology development so far the judiciary is concerned. And you will be astonished to know that the pandemic also doesn't stand in the way of Odisha for disposal of cases during that period. And therefore, I must extend my greatest gratitude to Honorable Chief Justice Dr. S. Muludhar, whose leadership has shown a great way to advance in technology in the state of Odisha. And we are progressing, we are moving ahead of technology in the state of, in the matter of judiciary. Now coming to the question that the appointment of judges. Certainly, many of the places the judges have not been appointed for various reasons. We are not delving into that issue for consideration. But the only question I can say that whosoever judges have been appointed, and now in session with the work, if they will desire to dispose of the cases and to deliver justice to the public, there will be no issue of pendency anywhere. Therefore, I request all the honorable judges to work hard and also dispense justice to the litigant public for which we have been appointed. Now, coming to the question that the Dr. Alok Mishra has stated about the student, I have my own views because I was the High Power Committee Chairman of MS Law University and also Executive Council member of the National Law University of Odisha. I had my own experience that the teachers, there is no personal aspiration against anybody. I am telling you, this is a noble place. Let us know each other and do best for the need of the hour to help the students. The students are become nowadays are not within the control of the professors. And professors are also not taking so much of care of the students because that belonging is not there. Then if you have the belongingness, then definitely the student will run after you and you set an example for the students. Those who are the tomorrow's lawyer, tomorrow's judge, they can inculcate and say that he was my professor, I have learned from him and I have become a good student and I have become a good judge and I have become a good lawyer. Therefore, you owe a great responsibility to set the future of the judiciary. I humbly and earnestly request all the professors to do the needful in their respective field instead of saying anything against anybody or in favor of anybody. Rather, they have to discharge their duty assigned to them. I can say that life is a journey. And when life is full of love, there is no place of anger or ego. Therefore, everybody wants to have a love. Love from the core of their heart. Professor, they should have their love to the students from the core of their heart. Lawyers, they should have respect to the bench. And the judges, they should have the respect to the lawyers and also love so that the dispensation of justice will be more easier. I understand that there are some lawyers, they show some arrogance in the court. Even there are some judges, they are also show their arrogancy in the court also. But that doesn't mean the relationship between the lawyer and the judges have broken. Rather, it enhances their internal relationship between themselves. One has to learn from each other because it is a stage where a lawyer has to have to know the mind of the judge, what he wants to say and what he wants to know. If the lawyer does not want to cooperate with the judge, then definitely the judge in result has to ask the lawyer that, Mr. I am posing this question to you, are not answering that. What is this? I need a positive answer from you. If that answer is not coming up, definitely the judge will say that you are not cooperating with the court while discharging the dispensation of justice. Therefore, my view is that you have to have cooperation with the judges, and the deliberation with the judges and lawyer will definitely give a good deliberation of judgments. And more so, it is a place of learning. The court cannot be stayed to have a place of politics, a place of some misunderstandings amongst everybody. Rather, it is a place of learning. If the lawyers will spend time to learn, definitely it will add to the mind of the judge to deliver justice in proper manner. I believe that the lawyers will definitely cooperate the judges with dispensation of justice, because if you spend that time idle, the idle mind in devil's workshop. If the idle mind will devil's workshop, there will definitely opposition, and there will be no proper dispensation of justice. Rather, I would say that everything can be done in a very simpler way. That simpler way is smiling and laughter is the turning of curves most life of troubles. If the lawyer loses some case, if he leaves the courtroom with a laugh, smiling, then it will not. It will give a great symbol to the honorable judge that whatever he has done correctly. But if he so left the court with a anger, that will give a reflection to the court that something wrong with him, therefore the lawyer has not conducted him properly. Therefore, why not go for a better way to have a smiling and laughter, so that at least the understanding will be much more. Then, now I can say that the purity and the cleanliness of both the sides also required, because I find that if you enter into the court premises, if there is no cleanliness, certainly your mind will be buzzed like anything. Therefore, the cleanliness in the entire court premises is required, and that too, now we have understood that the Odisha High Court is most of the cleanest High Court in country. And we have tried that if the environment is clean and pure, then in that case, definitely the justice dispensal system will go much ahead. And this has to be done at every level. If I can refer to the Hermann Hertz, the great Nobelist, his book on Siddhartha. The young man who strives for spiritual development and attainment of self-realization, while answering the aristocratic courtesan Kamala about the expertise, has said that he has mastered three things. Number one, waiting. Number two, thinking. Number three, fasting. If you ask yourself in simple way, then in that case, it has no value at all. Because it is common man thinking. But the thinking of Siddhartha was, so far as the waiting is concerned, it requires a patience and perseverance. Patience is a great thing so far as the deliberation of justice is concerned, because one has to come, file his case, choose a lawyer, file his case, wait in turn when the case comes, and for that he has to make a perseverance to see that the justice should be delivered to him. In that case, the waiting is a great thing for a person concerned. Then thinking is development of skillful deliberation. And third is fasting, the development of self-discipline based on patience of tolerance of hunger. So these are the three things which is required to have the spiritual achievement, which Siddhartha has inculcated, and that has to be reflected in each of the life of lawyer as well as judge. So these are the things which requires the close attention for survival of both lawyers and judges for dispensation of justice. So there is no question of any harnessing the administration of justice, rather it is a required cooperation and collaboration of both the sides, namely the advocate and judges. At this moment, I can only say, let us join hand and work together for dispensation of justice in moral way, in spiritual way, to attain the future dispensation of justice. Thank you all for giving this opportunity to say something.
बहुत 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 धन्यवाद। जोरदार तालियों से फिर हम आपका ये करेंगे स्वागत। आपने बहुत सुंदर बात की कि प्यार के द्वारा सब कुछ हो सकता है और प्यार से ही हमारे जजेज और लॉयर्स के साथ संपर्क होता है तो बहुत अच्छा होता है। अभी टाइम को देखते हुए मैं बहुत समय से हम सभी बहुत अच्छी अच्छी बातें सुन रहे थे। अभी हम थोड़ा आवाज़ से ऊपर जाने के लिए, जैसा कि आप सुबह सुबह शिविर में करते हैं, तो हमारी आदरणीय राजयोगिनी वी के लक्ष्मी बहन जी को इनवाइट करूंगा। आप हमारी सीनियर राजयोगा टीचर हैं और विशेष हरियाणा हांसी से पधारे हैं। आप 1964 से ब्रह्मा कुमारीज में आपकी सहभागिता रही और आपने अपने जीवन का डिसीजन लिया और आप बहुत ही हाईली एजुकेटेड एमएससी वैल्यू एजुकेशन में आपने किया है। साथ साथ में आप आजकल हमारा सोनीपत में एक रिट्रीट सेंटर है, वहाँ की आप डायरेक्टर हैं और बहुत सारी फैकल्टीज़ के रूप में भी आप देश विदेश सेवा करते रहते हैं। तो ऐसी महान आत्मा को मैं निवेदन करता हूँ कि आप आएँ, हमें मेडिटेशन भी कराएंगे और कुछ चंद शब्दों में अपने विचार भी रखेंगे। हमारी आदरणीय बहन जी लक्ष्मी बहन जी।
ओम शांति। मंच पर उपस्थित न्याय प्रभाग से जुड़ी हुई महान हस्तियां एवं सभा में उपस्थित सभी महानुभाव, आज का विषय बहुत ही सुंदर है, हार्नेसिंग द इनर रिसोर्सेज फॉर बेटर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ जस्टिस। आज का मनुष्य चारों तरफ की परिस्थितियों में बहुत दुखी, अशांत, परेशान होता है, तो वो एक आशा भरी नज़र से न्याय प्रभाग की तरफ ही देखता है कि यहाँ से मुझे कुछ न्याय मिलेगा। अदालत को न्याय का मंदिर कहा जाता है और उस मंदिर के देवताओं के पास, आप सभी के पास लोग एक आशा भरी नज़र से आते हैं कि यहाँ हमें कुछ राहत मिलेगी। तो सचमुच में आज इंसान के पास वो जो शांति है, आनंद है, प्रेम है, सद्भावना है, ये जो सद्गुण हैं, ये हर व्यक्ति के अंदर हैं। आपने सुबह के सेशन में मेडिटेशन में सुना होगा कि हम सब के अंदर एक ज्योति है, एक आत्मा है और उस आत्मा के अंदर शांति, प्रेम, आनंद, सुख सब कुछ समाया हुआ है। लेकिन आज वो शक्तियाँ हमारी सुषुप्त हो गई हैं। उन शक्तियों को फिर से जगाने के लिए मेडिटेशन की आवश्यकता है, क्योंकि मेडिटेशन वो विधि है, वो टेक्निक है जिससे हमारी अंतर मन की सोई हुई शक्तियाँ जागृत होती हैं। दिव्य विवेक, दिव्य शक्ति जागृत होती है। एक उलझा हुआ मन, एक परेशान मन, वो सही निर्णय नहीं ले सकता है। अगर उचित निर्णय देना है तो उसके लिए मन का शांत होना, शुद्ध होना, निष्पक्ष होना, उस मन के अंदर मानवता के प्रति प्रेम होना, ये सब गुण बहुत जरूरी हैं। और इन सब गुणों को विकसित करने के लिए आध्यात्मिकता की ज़रूरत है, स्पिरिचुअलिटी की ज़रूरत है। कई बार हम स्पिरिचुअलिटी और रिलीजन उसको एक ही मान लेते हैं। आज की दुनिया में धर्म के नाम पर लोग कटते जा रहे हैं, ईर्ष्या पैदा हो रही है, झगड़े हो रहे हैं, लेकिन स्पिरिचुअलिटी उससे ऊपर है। अध्यात्म का अर्थ ही है आत्मा का अध्ययन, स्टडी ऑफ स्पिरिट। हम सबके अंदर एक ज्योति है, एक आत्मा है, जिसे कोई चेतना कहता है, कोई प्राण कहता है, कोई रूह कहता है। और हम सब उस परम शक्ति ईश्वर की संतान हैं जो सब गुणों के सागर हैं। तो अगर सहज रूप से कहा जाए तो आध्यात्मिकता का अर्थ है हम सबके अंदर एक ज्योत है और हम सब एक पिता की संतान हैं। जब हम एक पिता की संतान हैं तो सबके प्रति प्रेम, सबके प्रति करुणा, सबके प्रति दया का भाव अपने आप ही जागृत होता है। तो मेडिटेशन में हम 2-3 चीज़ों को विशेष रूप से अपने स्वरूप में लाते हैं। सबसे पहले मैं केवल ये शरीर नहीं, इसके अंदर एक शक्ति हूँ, एक चेतना हूँ, एक आत्मा हूँ और सब आत्माएं हैं। तो स्वाभाविक रूप से आत्मिक गुण पैदा होते हैं, सबके प्रति प्रेम भाव पैदा होता है, सबके प्रति एक निष्पक्षता का भाव जीवन के अंदर आता है और जिससे जो हमारी जजमेंट है वो सही हो सकती है। साथ साथ आत्मचिंतन के साथ साथ हम उस सुप्रीम सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी, उसके साथ मन को कनेक्ट करते हैं जो सब गुणों का सागर है, भंडार है, जो हम सबका पिता है। जब उसमें मन को लगाते हैं तो मन के अंदर एक बेहद भावना पैदा होती है, सारा विश्व अपना है, वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, कोई भी पराया नहीं है। और जब अपनापन जहाँ आता है तो वहाँ प्रेम, सहानुभूति, दया और करुणा अपने आप ही जागती है। और फिर जब हम मन को उस परम शक्ति के साथ जोड़ते हैं तो वो अनंत शक्तियाँ हमारी आत्मा के अंदर भरती जाती हैं, जो सोई हुई शक्तियाँ हैं वो फिर से एक्टिवेट हो जाती हैं। तो इसलिए मेडिटेशन करने के लिए हमें कोई घर बार, परिवार, संसार को छोड़ने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, लेकिन अपने कारोबार में रहते हुए कुछ क्षण के लिए प्रतिदिन आत्मचिंतन करते हुए मन को उस ईश्वर से जोड़ना है। इसी का नाम योग है। गीता में भगवान के शब्द हैं योगः कर्मसु कौशलम। अगर हम मेडिटेशन करते हैं, योग करते हैं, ध्यान करते हैं तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम अपनी जिम्मेवारियों से दूर हो जाते हैं, लेकिन अपनी जिम्मेवारियों में, अपने कर्मों में योग से, मेडिटेशन से परफेक्शन आती है, कुशलता आती है, उसको हम और बेटर ढंग से कर सकते हैं। तो इसलिए अगर हम 10 मिनट भी प्रतिदिन उस ईश्वर पिता का ध्यान करते हैं, उससे मन को जोड़ते हैं तो जीवन में अनंत शक्तियों की प्राप्ति होती है। इसलिए हम ये निवेदन अवश्य करेंगे कि यहाँ से जाने से पूर्व आप सभी जो इतनी न्याय प्रभाग की महान हस्तियाँ हैं, तो ये संकल्प अवश्य लेकर के जाएं कि हमें प्रतिदिन 10-15 मिनट के लिए भी सवेरे सवेरे उठते ही उस ईश्वर पिता को याद करना है। और फिर अपने कार्य क्षेत्र में रहते हुए, क्योंकि ये योग कर्म योग है, सब कुछ करते हुए भी करना है। भगवान ने कर्म योग सिखाया है, आप कोई भी काम करो उस ईश्वर की स्मृति में करो बस, तो उससे अपने आप ही हमारी बुद्धि सही निर्णय देगी, सबके प्रति प्रेम और सद्भावना पैदा होगी। तो अभी हम कुछ चंद क्षणों के लिए उस ईश्वर पिता को याद करते हैं। आप सभी चारों तरफ से मन को समेट कर चले अपने अंदर की ओर। अपने आप से पूछें कि मैं वास्तव में कौन हूँ। मैं इस पंच भौतिक शरीर में मस्तक के मध्य में एक चेतना हूँ, शुद्ध आत्मा हूँ, एक चमकता हुआ हल्का सफ़ेद सितारा हूँ। मैं आत्मा अपने मूल स्वरूप में शांत हूँ, शुद्ध हूँ, पवित्र आत्मा हूँ। मैं ज्योति पुंज आत्मा इस आवाज की दुनिया से बहुत दूर शांति धाम, परम धाम की निवासी हूँ। महसूस करें मैं ज्योति का चमकता हुआ सितारा इस आवाज की दुनिया से दूर अपने असली वतन में शांति धाम में हूँ। इसी शांति धाम में परम शक्ति महाज्योति पुंज ईश्वर पिता निवास करते हैं। मैं आत्मा उस महाज्योति पुंज के समीप हूँ, उसके सानिध्य में हूँ। मेरे पिता शांति के सागर हैं, उनकी असीम शांति की किरणें मुझ आत्मा सितारे पर पड़ रही हैं। मेरा चित्त भी धीरे धीरे शांत हो रहा है। ईश्वर पिता प्रेम के सागर हैं, उनके पवित्र प्रेम की किरणें मुझ आत्मा सितारे में भी समा रही हैं। प्यारे शिव पिता शक्तिवान हैं, सर्वशक्तिवान हैं। उनकी शक्तिशाली किरणों के नीचे मैं ज्योति पुंज आत्मा हूँ। मैं भी शक्ति से भरपूर हूँ, शांति से भरपूर हूँ। महसूस करें, निरंतर महाज्योति से शांति और शक्ति बरस रही है। मैं ज्योति स्वरूप आत्मा इस शांति के सागर में स्नान कर रही हूँ। इस शांति और शक्ति को, पवित्रता को अपने में समाकर मैं फिर से इस भौतिक जगत में, अपने पंच भौतिक शरीर में, मस्तक में विराजमान हूँ। मुझे सारा दिन अपनी पर्सनल लाइफ, प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में इसी शांति, प्रेम और पवित्रता से सबके साथ व्यवहार करना है। सबको शांति और खुशी बांटनी है। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
ओम शांति। हम सभी का दिल तो कर रहा था कि ऐसे ही सुंदर, इस दुनिया से उपराम हम सभी का वास्तविक जो घर है, मैं ज़रूर सोचता हूँ कि आप सब ने भी ऐसा ही अनुभव किया होगा, उस परमात्मा मिलन। लेकिन फिर भी इस जगत में जब तक है, कार्य को आगे बढ़ाना है। तभी अंत में हमारे इस सभा के चेयरपर्सन साहब ऑनरेबल मिस्टर जस्टिस एस पाश्चापुरी जी को, जो हमारे जुरिस्ट विंग के पैटर्न हैं, उनसे निवेदन करूंगा, आप करीब 30 वर्षों से इस ब्रह्मा कुमारीज के साथ में रेगुलर मेंबर्स के हिसाब से भी जुड़े हुए हैं, पैटर्न मेंबर भी हैं जुरिस्ट विंग के। और आपके संदर्भ में ये कहना चाहता हूँ, कल भी आपने सुना कितना निर्भीकता से, इम्पार्शियल होकर के आपने अपने इस जज साहब की पोस्ट पे होते हुए कार्य किया। और उतना ही ब्रह्मा कुमारीज के साथ में भी रेगुलर, क्योंकि बहुत जजेज के साथ में मेरा मिलना होता है, वो कहते हैं कि हम नहीं जा सकते, लेकिन आप ऐसे एग्जाम्पल हैं कि अपना वो भी पार्ट बजा रहे थे और ब्रह्मा कुमारीज के साथ में भी योग सीखने के लिए, सिखाने के लिए कहो, रेगुलर आप आते रहे। अभी भले ही आप फॉर्मर हैं, लेकिन पोस्ट पे रहते हुए भी, तो ये हमारी अपनी एक इच्छा शक्ति होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि हमारी पर्सनल लाइफ पर्सनल होती है। ठीक है, पोस्ट का संविधान का या कहें कि वो ज़रूर हमें रखना है, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ अगर हम स्पिरिचुअलिटी को पर्सनल लाइफ में आगे बढ़ाना चाहते हैं, तो मैं समझता हूँ कि ऐसे हमारे जज साहब एक एग्जाम्पल हैं। और मैं एक और उधर आपको अनाउंसमेंट करना चाहता हूं कि जिन भी हमारे डेलीगेट्स को, मेहमानों को साइट सीन पे जाना है कल, तो आज ही वो हमारे साइट सीन ऑफिस में बुक करा देंगे। और दूसरा, हमारा आज ही जो कल हमारा वैलिडेटरी होने का था समापन सत्र, उसको प्रीपोन कर दिया गया है। आपको शायद पहले मिला होगा कि कल का था, तो आज शाम को 6 से 8 हमारा वैलिडेटरी सेशन रखा गया है। तो आप जो भी यहाँ नहीं भी हैं उनको भी बताएंगे और आप सब भी आएंगे। अभी मैं निवेदन करता हूँ ऑनरेबल जस्टिस एस पश्चाप्रे जी को, आप अपना अध्यक्ष भाषण रखें। ओम शांति।
Honorable Justice Sri B.R. Sarangi, Judge High Court of Orissa, my affectionate sister Rashmi Oja, the Vice Chancellor of Mewar University, Brother Natmal Bhai, and I am referring to the name of Rajyogini Lakshmi, with thanks to her that she has allowed me to speak at least 5 minutes more than what I expected to speak, because the meditation was done and the minds are quite peaceful, and we can have 5 minutes more time for the question of harnessing the inner resources for the better administration of justice. See, I liked this institution for the reason that it teaches the spirituality. Spirituality is said to be the mother of all the religions. And spirituality, in addition, is the source of everything that exists in the universe, Now we are dealing with only that litigation which comes before the court of law by way of criminal and civil litigations. To understand these litigations which are enumerated in different laws, either Indian Penal Code, Forest Law, Civil Procedure Code, Evidence Act, so many acts and rules and provisions are made for the purpose of disposing of the civil litigation and also the criminal litigation. But we never look into the source of litigation. What is the source? From where this litigation comes out? Where exactly, if the sources are curtailed, if the sources are limited, automatically the litigation also comes limited. The sources of litigation are the desire, it is the lust, it is the anger, it is the jealousy. So all vikaras, vikaras are the sources of this litigation which is brought before the court of law for deciding who is right and who is wrong. 50 years back, see, when I was a child studying in high school, I used to see that there were villages and there used to be the elders. And in case of any dispute in the village, they used to approach the elderly man in the village, maybe a partition, maybe a dispute between husband and wife, maybe a simple incident of assault. And the elders used to advise them, guide them, and see that the dispute is solved. A partition suit, which we require about 20 years or 30 years for finalization, an elderly person in a village, he effects the division on the spot. After hearing both the brothers, disposes of the litigation on the spot. So litigation is heard, the possession is given, and both the brothers are happy. But you see, for what time we take for, maybe that you see my friend, the senior lawyer in the Supreme Court and also Bombay High Court said that we should not speak of dependency and the perfection. In my opinion, the journey of life starts with the imperfection and leads towards the perfection. Whether we reach the perfection or not, it is not material. It is not the material also as to whether we become perfect or imperfect at the end of the life, but it is a journey which starts from ignorance towards the knowledge, or from the place where you see all that problems are there with the person, solving the problems all along the life and achieving that happiness, you see, having done something in this world. So, where is the source? Because we fight. I become angry, cause an assault. I become jealous, commit an offense of theft. I do so many such activities, and ultimately, see, I go to the court of law. Spirituality is that source, you see, which is sufficient for the purpose of reducing these all sources of litigation. If I become a good man, if I become a good person, there is no question of committing any crime or any sort of going for litigation. But you see, the thing is that the values are decreasing in the society in such a way that we are giving importance to all these vikaras and pursuing them. Even if a small litigation is there, you know it very well, that even if a small litigation is there, we go to the court of law. So no person thinks of getting it solved amicably or through the elders. And you will be surprised that it is impossible to see a single elder in a village in the present days also. Because there is no respect amongst each other. The youngsters do not respect the elders, and the elders also do not have that qualities of commanding any respect from the youngers. At the time, you see, when we started our profession, we used to respect our seniors in such a way, we treat them as our gurus. And in the present days, see, the senior and junior together go to the bar association, not this bar association, go to the bar and have the drinks. Together sit and smoke. So these are the things, you see, which are increasing the litigation in the present days in the courts. And equally, you see, from this source only, so who is the judge? A person who has completed law, practiced as a law, is appointed as a judge. In Belgaum, you see, at the time when I was practicing as a lawyer, the number of advocates was 300, and now it is 2,000. Despite the fact that there are 2,000 lawyers, despite the fact that they do not have sufficient number of cases amongst themselves, there is such an unhealthy competition everywhere in the society, even amongst the advocates also. And you'll see ultimately, when it becomes a source of survival for them, they will have to follow different ways for earning the money. And despite the fact that our salary, see, when I joined the judicial service in the year 1993 as a district judge, my salary was 10,000 rupees. And on the date when I retired from the services as a judge of the High Court, my salary was 2,25,000 every month. Despite the fact that I retired from the services, I am getting 1,50,000 as pension. I also, many a times, I feel surprised. A village man who works from morning till evening has to earn rupees 500 in the present days. At that time, it was 50 rupees. And we are getting 2,50,000 rupees at present as the salary of the judges. See, on the first occasion, when I was appointed as a district judge, I was posted to Bijapur. There was a system of fast-track court project was introduced. For the first time, for Bijapur district, a fast-track court project was introduced directing the judicial officers to dispose of not less than double of the quota fixed for the purpose of judicial officers. And you see, we did the work in such a way for a period of 4 years. The project was there for 4 years, and the pendency, which was 2,500 when I joined the service as a district judge in 1983, at the time when I was transferred from that place, the pendency was brought to 500 only, in addition to the initiation of the cases every day. See, the thing is that industriousness is most essential for a judge. Honesty is most essential for a judge. Integrity is most essential for the judge. And these are also essential for the advocates who bring the litigation before the court of law. 90% of the litigation which is brought before the court of law is filthy. The lawyer knows, the litigant also knows that, you see, he is going to fail in this litigation, but despite that, you see, they want to fight before the court of law for all the times, you see, whether it takes 20 years or 10 years. Sir, whether I get defeated or otherwise, see that, you see, that man is harassed in such a way, take this litigation for 20 years, so that, you see, my Atma will be satisfied. So this is the tendency, this is the sort of vigilance existing in the society, and how it is possible for any man to see that, you see, the justice is done at the appropriate time. See, now the Lok Adalats are there, the mediations are there, arbitrations are there. What is the percentage of disposal in these Lok Adalats, in these mediation centers, and also in the arbitration matters? It's very, very most little, and the extent of money spent for these institutions is so much. See, so far as justice is concerned, it is the police department, it is the prosecution department, it is the advocates, it is the judiciary, so many CBI, so many things. You see, these are all, you see, they are meant for the purpose of administration of justice only. And the faults occur somewhere, and up till today, since the year, since from the date of the independence, up till today, there is not a single meeting between the government and the judiciary so far as reduction in the number of litigation as to what is to be done. Not a single meeting has been done between the central government or the legislative authorities or the judicial authorities. No, they never worry. The judicial officers say that ours is an independent, we are not dependent on anybody, despite the fact that we are receiving the salary from the government only. See, when we are eating the food every day from the salary that is paid by another leg of the constitution, how we can't be called as a dependent? And there is no accountability at all. See, many a times I have heard some of the judicial officers, the quota for judicial officers in the lowest cadre, that is a judicial magistrate, is 12 minutes per month. By the time it is 1 week ahead of completing the month, the judge completes the quota. 12 minutes is over. Then the judge says that why should I dispose of the other cases? I will just postpone it to the next month. I will postpone it to the next month because my quota for this month is over, and whatever salary that has been paid for the disposal of 12 minutes, I have done it. This is the extent of approach. This is the way of approach of the judicial officers for the disposal of the matters before them. So there is no such erring, the feeling in the heart that you see a litigant is there before me, I must dispose of the case as early as possible. I must do that effort to see that this man is given justice at an appropriate time. This feeling is absent amongst the judicial officers. That feeling, that yearning is most essential to see that the litigation is disposed of. If there is 90% of filthy litigation in the judiciary, what is the time required? And what sort of litigation it is? It is either related to kama or related to krodha or related to some property, desirous or lust or something like that. But you see, the arguments are advanced. The arguments are advanced, see, for a day, 2 days, 3 days. See, when you ask an advocate, sir, Mr. Advocate, how much time you will take for this this case? He says, sir, probably I may take 4 hours or 3 hours or so. There will be a simple litigation. The thing is that we have taken this law as a complicated subject. And law is made by complication, because the last time I said, when it is written in words, it makes no sense. When written in words, law is common sense, law is nothing but common sense. Written in words, it is no sense. It does not give any meaning at all. If you have to prove the criminal liability, the responsibility, the burden of proof, you have to go to the Evidence Act, read it, and then see as to whether it fits into that section or not. There is no necessity. See, the common sense that we have as to how it is to be proved before the... Therefore, you see, the thing is that so much of time is spent for the purpose of hearing the arguments, laws and provisions, despite the fact that, you see, we have completed law for 3 years, and we practiced for many years, then we became the judges, you see, and served for all along the life, but still we say that we are not able to dispose of the cases in time. So Nani Palkiwala, Nani Palkiwala, a constitutional lawyer of this country, in the Supreme Court, had said that every Indian is intelligent. Every Indian is intelligent individually, and collectively all Indians are fools. All Indians are fools. See, our litigation is such an extent, you see, I worry about my intelligence and you say about your intelligence, and there will be a fight amongst the intelligence, but not for the purpose of justice or anything of that sort. That is the way in which we are approaching the things for the purpose. You see, now, you must have heard that, you see, if an accident occurs, the nearer persons, you see, they throw these stones on the bus. They assault the driver, they throw stones on the bus, and there will be so many cases to be registered by the police for damaging the property, the public property, and again another case against the driver of the vehicle. See, if this is a tendency of ours, if we do not have that patience, then how it is possible to control this litigation? If everyone in the country is to fight, then who is to dispose of? There is a dispute amongst the judicial officers also. See, there are many litigations of the judicial officers in the courts. They also do not desire that, you see, the matter should come to an end. This is how the things are happening. And for this, you see, the inner resources, that's what our sister Rashmi said. See, we must have the importance for the values, ethics. Ethics and values are most essential for every individual, and that could be provided only in spiritual institutions and not elsewhere. Neither the parents have any time to speak about these values, nor the teachers in the college, because they teach only the subject matter and not about the values at any time. Nor any other person except the spiritual leaders have any time to speak about the spiritual values. And when there is no education on the values, there is a question of adopting them. Who is to adopt them? Who is to train us? See, therefore, many a times I feel about this institution having taken so much of pain to see that, you see, this spiritual education is given to every person who comes here as a student. I think except this university, Ishwari Vishwavidyalaya University, I have not found any other institution in this country wherein, you see, they say that you become a person of values, you become a person of ethics, and be a good man, be happy for all the times. This education is not given anywhere. That is the most unfortunate part that is happening in this country, and therefore, unless such institutions are increased, and unless the contribution by attending to this institution is increased, I do not think that there is any possibility that in near future as well, there is any chance of reduction in the litigation and real justice to be done to an individual. And you see, we know, you see, for example, I will give you the conviction rate in America is 80%. The conviction rate in Germany is 99%. And in case if one person is acquitted of the charge in Germany, an inquiry will be done against the officer who investigated the case. And you know much about the police officers in this country. What they do, see, these are the registered cases, you see, of which we are speaking about this pendency. There are so many unregistered cases who are persons, the victims are not able to approach the court of law or any police for the purpose of fear or anything of that sort. That is, you see, a different aspect of the matter. Therefore, see, what is important for this better administration of justice is only to see that the values are imbibed with everyone, so that, you see, the litigation automatically comes down. The sources which are there, you see, they are curtailed and the values are filled in, thereby, you see, the litigation comes down. You see, in America, I had gone to America in the year 2013. I was there for about a month. I went to a district court to find out, to see how the litigation is conducted here. You see, I waited for the judge for about 3 hours. I asked the clerk there. He said that the judge will come at 3. I was surprised. Why, sir? How is it that, see, there are no cases? No, sir, there are only 1 or 2 cases. You see, he has to, and these, you see, the advocates have not yet come. And the time is fixed at 3 p.m. and the judge will come. So, in such countries, the judge is waiting for the cases. But in our country, the cases are waiting for the judge. This is the controversy, the most unfortunate thing that happens here. See, any filthy litigation. Now, see, recently the Apex Court took the matter of inaugurating the parliament. And you see, within a day, I think only 15 minutes, the matter was disposed of, rejecting the application, rejecting the petition. But you see, there are many such persons, you see, who retain the litigation for some more time, here, adjourn the matter, go on adjourning it. Maybe the advocates wants the adjournment, maybe the judge intends to adjourn the matter. So many things happen, and there is increase in the pendency of the cases. So, with the conviction rate at present is about 40 to 50%. 50% of the criminals are acquitted. 50% of the criminals are acquitted. What is really required in the society is that there should be either respect for the law or the fear of law. See, I must respect the law, and if I respect the law, if I abide by the law, there is no question of any litigation. And if I do not have respect for the law, at least I must have the fear of law. And fear of law can be there only in case if the conviction is 90, 95 or 100%. And to get 100% conviction with the police existing in the present days, I think it is practically impossible. With the knowledge of the police officer, with the knowledge of the investigating agency, with the knowledge of the prosecution, ultimately the knowledge of a judge also. These are the connecting links so far as the increase in the pendency of litigation before the courts are concerned. So, I think ultimately what I want to say is, my final opinion as a chairperson of this program, see, curtail those sources of litigation, imbibe those values within ourselves. So, if I imbibe the values in myself, I will not fight with any other person. So, if this knowledge is spread to everyone, and if everyone does it, then the possibility of litigation being decreased in due course of time would occur. So, ultimately, I have to close my speech because the time to enhance your patience by my sister Lakshmi has come to an end, because we have to go for the food now. I must thank the organizers of this program having given me this opportunity to act as the chairman. But ultimately, what remains is this litigation will be for a long time unless we imbibe those values, that ethics. We have to strengthen them so that the litigation would come down. With these few words, I thank you one and all. Thank you.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद पाश्चाप्र जी, आपका तो लाइफ ही बहुत ही सुंदर। अभी हम सभी आज का प्रोग्राम यहीं पूरा करेंगे। जस्ट 1 मिनट साइलेंस, उसके बाद सभी भोजन पे जाएंगे। ओम शांति।